level 62, strength day A. We are starting with supersets on the 115. I know our members love supersets. As a coach, I don't love them because we've got to demo everything. So I tried to give you a little bit more demo time in the timer breakdown. So do your best, be as efficient as you can, offering modifications when you can. So we're doing supersets on the 115, 3 rounds through. We have 4 superset exercises, right? So 4 blocks of supersets. So the first one is a banded diagonal step back. So this is for hip stability. And then we're coupling that with a single arm row. So every movement I tried to have a sort of banded or more body weight type exercise and then a weighted movement. Okay, so your first one is that banded diagonal step back. Some of these things are gonna kind of mirror that momentum day. So if you're teaching both or you have members in both, they're getting some pseudo repetition without doing the exact same movement. So what I want here is a nice strong post, and then you're stepping back at like that 45-degree angle. Similar to our stagger stance deadlift, that foot that's planted, we want to stay loaded on that leg. So you don't want to see them transitioning their weight back. It's not a walk, it's just a step back at that diagonal, okay? So we go from that right into our single arm row. So you're come over top. You're gonna, just reaching, sorry. You're gonna come into that hinge position here. You're gonna grip the bell nice and tight. After you get the bell off the ground, make sure they're packing that shoulder. So we don't wanna start our row here. We wanna start our row here. Driving the elbow right to the side of the body. Again, trying to push them to go a little heavier with the 3 and 3 reps. If needed, you can go 5 and 5. The biggest thing we don't wanna see is as they row, flatten out your back. The biggest thing that we don't want to see is we don't want them to round here. We also don't want the elbow to drive past the body, okay? So if they're rowing and driving that elbow way past, they're gonna stress that bicep tendon. They're gonna have some anterior shoulder pain. They're not gonna be super happy with that, okay? Whatever time they have left in that minute 15 is gonna be rest. We then are gonna go into a banded Superman and a single arm deadlift. So banded Superman, we're gonna have that band around the wrists, making sure arms are staying parallel. So we're coming here, tension, so pulling at the bottom. Oh, see me? Yeah. I'm doing great on filming. So pulling at the bottom and then coming into that full Superman. If somebody's complaining of low back pain here, you can always just have them go arms only. You can have them take the band off. You can go 1 and 1 to decrease the pressure that's occurring at that low back, okay? Single arm deadlift. You're gonna come over top of the bell, hacking that shoulder, making sure we're squaring off. Exhale as you come tall. So big inhale at the bottom, fill that belly, brace the core. Exhale, come tall. Making sure we're kind of pulling that shoulder back, so we don't want the shoulder to pull us forward or around. Staying nice and tall. The single arm deadlift can be a little tricky because people inherently want to come to the side. For this one, we don't want them to come all the way out to the side because we're trying to couple this together with the row to get them feeling comfortable with that tactical clean that comes up in the second work set. So making sure that they're coming here, not back behind, okay? Your third superset is gonna be a stagger stance vertical jump, 4 and 4, and then a goblet clean to a squat where you will clean between every squat. So stagger stance, vertical jump. So we're using that same B stance, okay? If they land not staggered, that's fine, right? So if I'm starting staggered, vertical jump, I can land both feet even, or if they're able to, they can just rebound right into that next one, okay? Making that judgment call for your members. From there, we're going into that goblet clean, packing the shoulders, clean, find that nice strong squat, take it back down, clean, big inhale at the top, driving those armpits so those elbows stay at the sides. Hold the breath through the bottom, exhale, come tall, okay? At the bottom of that squat, if you see individuals with their knees coming in, cue them to drive those knees out over second and third toe. That's gonna help engage the hips better. It's knee friendly, so it's gonna help maintain good form. Last superset, we're doing an upper extremity loaded dead bug, and we are supersetting that with a banded good morning, and I'll give you an option for if you don't have somewhere you can anchor a band. So for that loaded dead bug, you're gonna grab a bell. I'm gonna have them hold it the way you typically would for a standard pullover, which is holding the top portion of the handle. Bell's gonna sit between the forearms because this is more wrist friendly. So you're holding the bell like so. You're gonna pack those shoulders down, make sure that back is nice and flat, coming to that reverse tabletop position. So option one is gonna be a tap down. You can also go down, down, up, up. If somebody's having a really hard time keeping that back flat, you then can work towards a straight extension in the legs or offering an angled option here, okay? If this is really hard for somebody to control their low back, you can always just have them breathe in this hold or in the reverse tabletop, making sure that they are keeping that tension through those abdominals the entire time. The good morning option with a band. So I don't know how well you can see here. I usually use a lighter rogue band to attach it to a pole so that you don't feel like you're right up against whatever is the anchor point. And this is not the recommended anchor point. This is just what's working out with how I can film today. So your best option is going to be on a Queen-X or something that's much more stable, not the sprint runner, okay? You're going to put this right across the hips. They're going to pull out far enough that they have that tension. The band is assisting them into that hinge, and then they're going to try to snap forward with some power, really trying to drive the feet into the ground. Okay, so for that good morning, making sure that you have a soft, gentle bend. Okay, this should not get loose, right? So you can see I'm a little too close. So you want to have enough tension that they have to kind of fight that band a little to not fall backwards. So they're coming here and then driving nice and tall, okay? If you don't have a place where you can anchor a band, you can just do a good morning. So what you would have them do, goblet clean, you can hold that bell in the front for a good morning, or I'm gonna take that bell safely behind, placing it right over the top of your sacrum or at your hips, soften the knees, driving those hips back, snapping tall, okay? So the holds there, I think most people, at least me, I feel more comfortable with the weight behind. When I hold it up front, I feel like I'm fighting really, really hard not to round the shoulders. So you can get both options, or if you know that people deal with low back more commonly, give them the hold behind the back, because that's gonna help them work on their core brace a lot more. Last work set, I really want people to love, but I know that they might feel like it's a lot of rest. So if you are hearing on this last work set that it is a lot of rest, they need to attempt to go heavier, or they can increase their reps, okay? So this is a 0-15 protocol through Strong First. It's designed to be 1 minute and 30 for swings and push-ups. It is meant to be challenging, right? It sounds like a lot of reps, but I promise you, if you use the right weight, if you choose the right reps, it's a good workout. We are only doing 4 rounds. Typically in 0-15, you would increase those rounds each week. So you go from 4 to 6, etc. So the first movement, so your first minute 30, You are doing a tactical clean, 3 to 5 each side, so both sides in that minute 30. I'm also gonna demo the option for a tactical snatch because I know we had the tactical clean sprinkled in last cycle. So if you have members who have done it, who are efficient at it, who are safe with it, and you want to give them the option to try the snatch, I'm gonna demo that so you can give that to them, okay? The second exercise is gonna be a power push-up. So in this last cycle, we were working on the concentric only. So this is giving members an option to kind of put that back into a standard push-up. What I mean by a power push-up is I want a big, powerful drive, big exhale as they go back to the top of that push-up, okay? The goal here is to try to do 10 reps. If they need to, they can start with 5 and work up, or they can do 2 sets of 5 because you have a minute 30, okay? The 0-15 protocol is for 10 reps per minute 30. So that's ultimately our goal, but we're gonna adjust as we need to for our members, okay? So for that tactical clean, you are stepping back with the leg that is going to clean. Same thing for that snatch, okay? So you're gonna stand 2 feet back because our standard clean should always be a swing clean. Dead clean is an option, okay? Please don't dead clean with the tactical, okay? You need the momentum of the hike. You need to use that energy to be able to find the right positioning in that step back. Pack that shoulder, fall into that clean, take it back behind, okay? So ideally this is continuous. So as the bell swings back, they're stepping back square, okay? So as I clean, I step back into that lunge. As I take it back into the backswing, I'm stepping square. So I'm back in that nice hinge, dropping back, tactical clean. They'll go both sides. For the snatch, same concept, but instead of stopping at that shoulder for the clean, we're driving all the way up. Some people will find that the tactical snatch is easier than the clean because the clean, since you're stopping that weight here, you need to stop the momentum of the bell driving you to the ground because it's landing right here. Okay, the snatch feels a little more fluid. So same thing, same leg steps back, square as I hit backswing. Square as I hit backswing, okay? Making sure, right, if I'm here, obviously not in the box, apologies. If I'm at my tactical snatch, I'm dropping the elbow to hit the backswing, okay? So it's still dropping through the elbow, so all the components of the snatch still play. For your power push-up, pointer finger should always be parallel, driving those armpits, not armpits, elbow pits, which is a weird word anyway, driving elbow pits forward. So in your push-up, elbows should scrape the rib cage, or they can come out of that slight 45. We do not want here. We do not want chicken wing. That's a lot of bicep, a lot of pec, not enough tricep drive, okay? Pointer fingers are parallel, feet are hip width. We are pushing through our toes to drive our shoulders over top of our hands, lowering down, big drive, okay? If people are having a hard time finding their push-up position, the goal is that your wrist should be at a 90-degree angle, right? So this is where my hand should be in my push-up. They shouldn't be here. They should be here, okay? As always, you can give the option to come up on a box. Same concepts apply. Pointer fingers are parallel. Control down. Big drive, okay? So sorry about that. Please emphasize that we would much rather people modify by putting hands on a box than dropping to the knee. If you're dropping to the knee, you're gonna miss the whole power push-up concept because you're not able to connect your core and your glutes together. There is nothing wrong with doing a modification because we wanna emphasize quality of these movements, and they're gonna get more out of it if they do it on a box versus if they're dropping to their knees, okay? We can also do the backpack banded option. We're using a band to help support, and any of the studios where you're able to do that on the Kleenex. We'll review that on Sunday. For anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about, this is a little too high to do it. Send me a message and I will send you that video because it's buried somewhere in Slack. Okay, if you have any questions, let any of the Leads team know. We're here to help you so that you can keep doing all your great work with our members.